Adonis Robinson, arrested in Polk County on Thursday, is now in the Tarrant County Jail. On Friday, 21-year-old Jacoby Russell was also booked into the jail. Further information indicates Fort Worth police located the white Kia Rio at an apartment complex, and surveillance video obtained shows two men dressed identical to the suspects arriving a few minutes after the fatal shooting. They park the car, get out, and toss objects into a grassy field before going into an apartment. It was Robinson's girlfriend, according to the affidavit, who identified him. She was seen driving away in the vehicle. Police stopped her and brought her in for questioning, where she told investigators Robinson borrowed the car after dropping her off at work, then called her later, provided the location of the vehicle, and told her to come pick the vehicle up because something had happened. Police say Robinson's Texas identification card was located inside the white Kia.
You shot straight, but you shot late. Hi, Led. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm going to give you the rundown.
And Fox 4 obtained new details about the shooting at a Forest Hill car wash that killed a father and his 5-year-old daughter. Both suspects are in custody for capital murder after that shooting 1 week ago today.
Other Hannah, disturbing details from court documents today, yet still no clear motive has been laid out. Both men are facing capital murder charges in the Forest Hill car wash deaths of rap artist Ronnie Sibley and his 5-year-old daughter Armani. Court documents in the case include an arrest affidavit for Robinson. And while it does not reflect a motive in the ambush killing, it does include details that played out a week ago. It indicates Sibley was vacuuming his car when two men got out of a 2016 white Kia Rio. It states the suspects were armed with an assault-style rifle and handguns. Investigators describe how they approached Sibley and immediately opened fire. And they continued to fire and chase Sibley as he tried to run and get away. The document reveals Sibley's 5-year-old daughter, while in the front passenger seat of his vehicle, was struck and killed by those flying bullets. Now, court information shows Jacoby Russell is being held on a bond set at $1.5 million, and Robinson is being held with no bond.
Now, as new details come out in the investigation deaths of getting money to Ronnie and his daughter, now we have information stating that this boy Adonis Robinson, one of the shooters, then left his Texas ID inside his girlfriend's vehicle after he did the murder in his girlfriend's vehicle. Now, according to the affidavit, it's saying that Adonis Robinson dropped his girlfriend Kay off at work that morning. And obviously she had to be there by 10 because the murders take place after 10 o'clock that morning, around about 10:40 almost to the 10:50 time interval. So how did they know that Lil Ronnie was going to be there? I mean, he didn't even have his own wheels that day. How did he know that she was going to let him borrow the car to even pull off this heinous act? See, if he didn't have no wheels that day, he couldn't have pulled this whole ordeal off in the first place. Okay, so that's how she get caught up. And maybe the baby mama was thinking just because, this car, came back to this female, that means that she the one that drove him up there. Maybe she might have got that misconstrued because there's no information coming out saying that she actually drove them to Slappy's, to go pull off the shooting. But, I'm assuming she means that when the girl got caught driving Adonis Robinson in Livingston, Texas, when they was caught, that's what she means by getaway driver, as far as, driving him around after the crime has been made. And, yeah, man. So I understand what she means now as far as getaway driver. But, she did say that the girl took him up there and all that there. But now we know that there's definitely false information. Now, the girl claims she was at work, right? Adonis drops her off that morning. She had to be there by 10, I'm assuming. Now, how did they know he was going to be there? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? That's what, is going to have to come out eventually. These guys ain't no psychics. How did they know early that morning that Get Money Lil Ronnie was going to be at that car wash. Now, I heard Charleston White say in his Say Cheese interview that, you know, one of the suspects' grandfather stays in the house right there behind that car wash in that subdivision. So maybe that's a possibility, right?
You know, I think that was a spontaneous act. I think somebody just so happened to see him at the car wash. The young they say that's responsible for the shooting, granddaddy lived right around the corner from the car wash. So I think that was a spontaneous act.
But at the same time, that means he would have had to been looking. He would have had to be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing up early in the morning, you know, just staking out the car wash, hoping and wishing and praying that an op come through? Nah, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's unlikely, right? So at the end of the day, somebody had to give the information to these suspects, to these shooters, and let them know that Lil Ronnie was definitely up there. Now, it's a bunch of factors that could factor in. Some people say that the girl, you know, the baby mama was followed, you know, by the suspects. You know, that hasn't been verified in the, you know, affidavit, right? So they're going to have to come out with the information as far as how they knew and had intel that Lil Ronnie was definitely at that Slappy's car wash that morning. And, you know, for this to even unfold. And this is very crazy, man, because, you know, the timing of this is just, it don't seem right, man. You know, how did they know they would have the car to go pull this off in? They didn't. They just dumped the guns, right? In the bushes, just threw them in the bushes, right? So, like, ain't nobody gonna find these high-powered rifles or handguns just laying on the ground in tall grass. Come on, man. Eventually, it's gonna get found. You see what I'm saying? And eventually, they gonna run the DNA on the guns and the ballistic. You know, like, look, man, y'all were gonna get caught anyway, right? And then with Adonis leaving his Texas ID, right, in that car, that was the nail in the coffin right there. Now, he was already cooked. This is how they knew, you know, who the first suspect was. Obviously, the boy left the ID in the car, right? So, you know, with Jacoby turning himself in, that made it look like, you know, he's not a flight risk. You know, he's willing to, you know, take accountability. He's turned himself in, and he didn't go on a run like, you know, Adonis Robinson did. Maybe that's why he ain't got no bail, right? And they give, you know, Jacoby a bail in his regards. Now, Kay, the girlfriend, the getaway driver is what they calling her, right? She's saying that, you know, the reason they got caught, you know, because she says in her live, she asked everybody, y'all want to know how we got caught? Well, actually, you were already caught when he did the murder in your vehicle. Damn fool, right? You was already caught.
Because anybody know me? Anybody know me, bro? I've never harmed a kid a day in my life, bro. I never did nothing to no kids, bro. I don't agree with that killing no kids. I asked him, how could you do something like that? How the can you sleep doing like that? What? I was mad about that. Oh, y'all bashing, so y'all got questions? Ask a question. On God, I will let you know. Y'all want to know how we got caught? I will gladly tell y'all. Shit, they put a track on my car. I went to jail too. They interrogated me too like I was guilty. Because I had nothing to do with none of that. None of that. Nothing at all. Oh, no. No. No, it had nothing to do with that. Like y'all telling me to go. I'm out. Y'all, everybody who said I wasn't going to get out, I'm out. I didn't take him. I didn't take him nowhere. I didn't take him nowhere. It was already out here. This was already out here. I don't even know how he got out here. I didn't take that nowhere. I didn't take that nowhere. I didn't take him out here. I didn't take him out here. He was already out here. He told me to come out here, and that's exactly what I did, came out here. I wasn't hiding or nothing. That knew the chances he was taking, getting in this car. I had nothing to do with none of that shit. I told him, I said, I feel like they following me. I feel like they following me. He told me, nah, ain't nobody following you good. You tried to get in this car, you got caught. That do with me? I'm glad they got because I'm scared. The whole time we're in the car ride, I'm scared. Bitch, what the is you on? I'm asking him questions. Why you do that? How could you do that? How could you kill a kid, bro? How could you do that? How could you kill a kid? He kept telling me he didn't know that baby was there. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you cool? How could you kill a kid?
He left his ID in the car, all this here. You get caught going to go pick up the car. He tell you to go get the car. You go do it. He ain't told you nothing. Huh? He ain't say, hey, I did a murder in the vehicle. You know, we just, stepped on, Lil Ronnie, and we ain't know his daughter was in the car. She claims that, Adonis tells her that they didn't see the little girl in the car. That's what Kay is telling us, that Adonis said, right? But a lot of people felt like, when Ronnie, was running away, they were still shooting at the car. So, a lot of people feel like, yes, they did know that baby was in there. And even the baby mama says that, they did that on purpose because they knew her baby was in that car. So, it's kind of, back and forth on that. But at the same time, man, with Kay saying that they put a tracker on her car, right? That's how, they got caught. Okay, this is the Monday, the same day of the murder. They pull you over after you get stopped driving that murder vehicle, and you tell them everything, right?
Further information indicates Fort Worth police located the white Kia Rio at an apartment complex, and surveillance video obtained shows two men dressed identical to the suspects arriving a few minutes after the fatal shooting. They park the car, get out, and toss objects into a grassy field before going into an apartment. It was Robinson's girlfriend, according to the affidavit, who identified him. She was seen driving away in the vehicle. Police stopped her and brought her in for questioning, where she told investigators Robinson borrowed the car after dropping her off at work, then called her later, provided the location of the vehicle, and told her to come pick the vehicle up because something had happened. Police say Robinson's Texas identification card was located inside the white Kia.
And so, how did you get with him Thursday? It's because they didn't have to put a tracker on your car. They was tracking you by following behind you all the way from Fort Worth to Livingston, right? You work in Fort Worth, right? He dropped you off at work before they went to go do the murder, right? So you had to be staying in Fort Worth. Now, Kay says in her live that, that Adonis was already down there in Livingston, an hour away from Houston, calling her, to come down there and meet him. About 3 hours away. So that's a long trip to just, take to go see this alleged murderer of a father and a 5-year-old girl at the car wash back in Forest Hill, right? So it's like, what would compel you to drive way down there? What she didn't say in that live is that the police, put her up to this. This is the deal she had. She had to take them, to Adonis because they couldn't probably pinpoint where he was out there in Livingston going towards Houston. And now that they knew that he was going to call her because it was her car that they used in the murder, so they just sitting back waiting on him to call her like a big dummy, which he did. She led the police right to him. That was the deal, And you notice they never said her name in the news. In the articles, her name is, nowhere mentioned in them articles about this whole situation. Okay? So it had to be, that she had to take the law enforcement, from Fort Worth. That's why you seen all them Fort Worth SUVs, police vehicles out there in Livingston at that gas station when they made that arrest. It's because, obviously, they followed her because that was the plan. That's how we can get this suspect, right? That's on the run for capital murder. And she led them right to him. Why she talking about, y'all want to know how they, caught us? Yeah, you was already caught. Simple. So now that you caught and he contacting you, want you to come through and, see him or whatever. Yeah, you going to lead the popo straight to the dude. Now, something else that I thought about is why Adonis was waiting on Kay to come from Fort Worth, right, to Livingston to meet up with him on that Thursday, right? What was he doing for them 3 hours. That little time interval that he had waiting on her. So is it somebody else that was, aiding and abetting him at the same time? Possibly, because how did he get down there? He gets caught riding with her. And she tells him she feel like it's somebody watching him, following him. Now, once the girlfriend got to Livingston, right, 3 hours away from Fort Worth, police following her, big old police presence. Now, they possibly could have put the scanner in there because they didn't want to alert the suspect, right? The fugitive, of this big police presence behind this girl car. So, of course, they had to put the scanner on it so they can, hide in the shadows, while she, maneuver her way to wherever he was at. He gonna be looking around. He gonna be paranoid. You know what I'm saying? And then this big dummy never thought that she would set him up. Man, you did the murder in the girl car, boy. And you left your ID in her car. How you not know, hey man, this a whole different car? You didn't think that, well, where you get this new car from? Right? She wasn't in the Kia. So I wouldn't be surprised if the law enforcement didn't give her that car to go down there to Livingston and go meet the boy. Right? I mean, that's what had to happen. And I believe, like I said, they couldn't just ride up and tell her while she was going to go meet him. They had to be in the shadows. That's where the scanner come in at. And I also believe that that car was wired. That's right. It was wired. That's my beliefs. And they say, well, OG Jucario, why you say it was wired? She said they had a scanner on it, but you saying it was wired? Yeah, it was wired. Because when they let him get in the car with her, because remember, that's how they caught, Adonis. He was in that vehicle while old girl was in the store, in the gas station, acting like she about to get some gas. Okay, that was part of the plan. Because you couldn't be in the car when they took him down. He might have, pulled something crazy. Try to hold you hostage or something. So, at the end of the day, they had that car wired to see if he was going to talk. They wanted to see what he was going to say. That's why she said in that live, she was, getting on him about killing that baby. How could you do that? That was a baby, this and that and this. She was trying to get him to talk then because the call was wired. Or she was wired, right? They listening in, trying to see what information he gonna come up with. Possibly who paid him. Possibly where he need her to take him to go get this money for that hit. They could have been listening for all kind of things, but best believe they were listening. Now, I really wonder what the plan was because she says that Adonis told her to come to Livingston, 3 hours away from Fort Worth, where he was at, to meet up with him. For what? Y'all could have talked over the phone, But at the same time, like I said, I believe she had to go, to Livingston where he was located or wherever he was going to be at if he wasn't in Livingston, just so the authorities can arrest him, right? So they can pinpoint him, know exactly where this dangerous suspect was located at. And that's exactly what happened. And she was a part of it. But she just doesn't want to come out, and blankly say, yeah, I got him arrested. He deserved to be locked up behind bars for doing what he did. But for some reason, and we all know the reason, she ain't saying it like that. She ain't being loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still trying to, save face, and she don't want old boy feeling some type of way about snitching on him. But he already had to know that was already in motion. You did it in her car, you dummy. You didn't burn the car up, right? The car was going to be found. The guns was going to be found. I threw them in the book. Man, there was so many, unorganized tactics used in this shooting, in this murder, that they was going to get caught inevitably. So she had to tell, just to keep herself, from going down behind this murder. The media, the news media never showed her, that clip that all the YouTubers got, all the content creators got the clip from Big Willie, right? Showing her getting arrested. Why the news never showed that? So this is how she worked directly with them and she's a witness. She's cooperating. They're trying to keep her name and face up out of it as much as possible. But, the content creators already got it out there. So, it just adds on another element to, yes, she definitely, worked with the authorities to bring down Adonis Robinson. So it's going to be very suspenseful to wait to see what other information they're going to come out with and, possibly other suspects. Because like I said, they had to get the intel from somewhere. that Lil Ronnie was there at that Slappers car wash at that time for them to do the murder. Now the baby mama is saying it's a paid hit on her baby father and her baby. And, you know, I could believe that, you know, because what would, you know, propel these guys, you know, compel these guys to do what they did.
That was a paid hit on my baby and them all gonna go. Everybody gonna lay around this. I promise you, and we ain't ducking no action. I promise you. And CJ Casino, you talking about all casinos? Matter of fact, talking about.
You know what I mean? Just out the blue. Drop your girl off and you ain't gonna do a murder. How you know he was gonna beat her? See, that right there is the key factor to this. And that's why most suspects will be caught. And, you know, the technology with these phones, it don't matter if you delete messages or whatever, social media, they gonna go back through all that and make sure they rake through every nook and cranny of these messages, right? And these phones to see who's connected with the murder of Getting Money, Lil Ronnie and his precious 5-year-old daughter, Armani. So y'all get in the comment section and y'all let me know what y'all think about this entire situation. And until the next time, this is OG Jucario TV with the latest in rap, hip-hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spinning with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey, man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.